Welcome back to VA Creative and part 49 of the Ultima RS build, and on this episode we're going to be fitting that gargantuan rear wing. Yes, welcome back to the Dean Den and another all-day pass. And on this episode, as I hinted in the intro, we're going to be fitting that huge rear wing. But before we get to that, there are a few other jobs I have to complete. And there are a set of jobs that I must say I'm not particularly looking forward to. Yes, there are jobs on this car which, how should I put it? Yeah, make blood rush to my head. And what I'm talking about is working underneath that dashboard. Now, for you, lucky people out there, because I can't film under the dash, you're not going to share my agony, but you may see my feet wiggling in the air. So what we're talking about is finishing off the heating ducting, finishing off the installation of the windscreen wiper motor, and also the windscreen washers, and a few other small bits that I need to tidy up under that dash. So seats out, seat belts out. Yep, as I said, in kit car builds, you tend to remove things multiple times. Hence why no thread lock the first time I fitted those seat belts. So let's just get over to the unpacking area and I'll show you the kit I'm going to be fitting. Welcome to the unpacking area, and not too many bits actually, but let me go through them one by one, because when I'm under that dash, it would be a bit difficult for me basically to communicate. Firstly, washer jet. No big deal here. We just put this through the bodywork because I've pre-drilled that hole, and then just slip on that tube that's at the moment just hanging underneath the dash. Next, the actual venting under the dashboard, which has the demister vents for the windscreen, also the vents that actually direct at the driver and passenger. These need to be routed and use these lovely little sort of triangular duct things. And what I do is just put a little south tapper in each to make sure those convoluted tubes do not fall out during use. Next, we have the wiper assembly. Now here we have the wiper motor and the mechanism which actually drives the two wiper arms. And the reason for that, it is a hark back to LM race cars, where you see that windscreen wiper vertical when it's in the pause position. And why? Well, that's aerodynamic efficiency, I guess. I don't know, but I guess that's what it is. Now, let's just open this up. These are the wiper arms and blades. These two wiper arms that are joined, and quite amazingly, that's just the size of the wiper blade on this car. It's tiny, look at it, look. But I guess as that wipes across, that actually takes away more than enough for anyone to be able to see to drive this machine. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do now is, you'll see my legs waggling out of the car as I crawl underneath the dash and start assembling all of these parts. Right, wish me luck. I'm going under. You'll see no seats, and I've got some of the convoluted tubing in there already, and I've got to wear my specs. Don't laugh. These are for close-up stuff, so you're all blurred now. So I can't get my head far enough away from what I'm focusing on. Anyway, you can watch me get in here. You'll still hear me because I've got my mic on. Please go to the gym. Oh, here you go. Can you see me? Right, okay. I've just got to find out where all these wires go. What's all this for? Oh God, I can't even focus on that. That's too close. Windscreen wiper. Oh, it's good I found that. And then, this is for the washer jet. Okay, that's easy. Right, it's not too bad under actually. That's fine. So, okay. And here I've got to route all that. That's okay. Okay, right. I've got to get out again now. Yeah. Jeez, I'm getting too old for this. Right, I'm trying to film so you can see me under the dash. Christ. Sorry about all the grunting. Okay. Whew. Now, first thing I'm going to do is, I was trying to put the washer jet in, but I've just lost the nut. Where's that gone? Jesus. There it is. Okay, I'm going in. Okay. God, blimey. Okay, that's that done. Now, the wiper motor can only go in one way. Jeez, there's just no room in here. Okay, all right, that's the loom for it. I ain't got a clue whether you can see what I'm doing. Okay. There you go. Oh, that's handy. You can do this on your own because it actually stays in there because it rests on the aircon box. Well, it won't when it's timed, but okay, I think that's... Oh, Christ. Oh, I just need a rest now.
Stars driving down the boulevard at night, playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. And it doesn't even matter to me where I go, I just feel I need to take a ride. Got my coffee cup to go, and I'm gonna hit the road tonight. Now, in a different part of town, I see new colors as the sun goes down. No, it doesn't even matter to me where I go, just feel I need to take a ride. I don't know when I'll get back, keep on going and relax tonight. I'm not heading for the stars, driving down this boulevard tonight. Yeah, playing Coldplay on repeat, watching people on the street as I go by. Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
There you go. Windscreen wiper on. That looks pretty cool. The washer's done. I've just got to connect it up under the dash. So go under. I need a cup of tea before I go under the dash again. Or a beer. Beer. This must be about the 8th take of this. Well, welcome to the engine bay. I must say, it's a lot more roomy than being underneath that dashboard. Now, before I put the rear clamshell back on, so we can fit that rear wing, yeah, I know you're waiting for that, but we will do it. There are a few minor jobs I just need to tidy up here. One, now look away if electrics scare you. I have the Anaconda. Yep, this is the engine loom, and these are the connections for all the sensors and all the injectors and coil packs, and yeah, you get the idea. A lot of wires. And also in this loom we have connections to fuel tank senders, low pressure fuel pump, high pressure fuel pump, and a load of other stuff. And what I'm going to do is actually route all that and actually connect it to the car before I then tackle sealing off the roll bar holes. And also, we're going to prep to putting the pit pin in. More about that later. And on that note, let's just get wrestling that Anaconda. Next, we have to remove the powder coating off of the earth point. I'm using my Dremel for this. Now it's important to take all that powder coating off to give it a nice earth, because bad earths cause bad problems. Right, fingers first. Put the washer on. Then the lock nut. Now when I've been doing this job, I made sure I blocked all these open fuel lines, because the last thing you want is the smallest bit of debris being sucked into that fuel system. Make sure this is super tight for a really good connection, really good earth. There you go. Not sure if you can see this. This is the feed to the air conditioning rad fan. So it's clearly marked positive there, so I'm going to push that up in there. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is to keep this out the way, I'm going to cable tie the wire to that wire there. And then a little cable tie on those down there. So that's there. Actually, I must say it's very comfortable in here. And what a better place for a can of Duff. No, this isn't product placement. I'm not being sponsored by Duff, even though it wouldn't be a bad idea. But anyway, let's just have a beer to help things along. Beer. Very nice. And the fuel fillers are just like coasters to put my duff on. Okay, next. Now we have the earth done. I need a couple of zip ties to do that. And then here I have the feed to the fuel sender. And what else?
I'm not heading for the stars, driving down the boulevard tonight.
There we go. Looks nice and neat. Now this fuel pot here, the factory advised we cover this in heat reflective material. Now I could have used the excess I had from doing the rear canopy, but I thought I just want to go with some of this gold stuff. It looks pretty good, it looks space agey, doesn't it? So I hope you're watching this. I'm going to try and put this on this with no creases, because I can't stand it when you get creases in this stuff. So just watch. I've got lots to play with, so if I try it and it goes wrong, never mind. So maybe the best thing to do first is cut these 3 holes and start in the middle and then go out. Yeah, let's do that. Right.
Don't wanna waste time. I'll never be this young. I'll never be this young again. Don't wanna chase highs when I'm too worn out. When I'm too worn out. So I'm never coming down. Never coming down. Never coming down again. I was born to be this high. Born to be this high. Born to be this high, my friend. Won't you come up here to my altitude? To my altitude. Yeah, you. 'Cause I always liked you. I wanna share this view. I wanna share this view with you. We're never coming.
Now I did this off camera because it was a bit stressful, but I think that looks pretty good. Just takes a lot of manipulation just to get this in exactly the right place, but I must say that looks pretty good. Quite pleased with that. So I've got a bit of the space age in the RS now. Now, what's next? Yes, the day's come. Another all-day pass. So I'm going to fit that huge rear wing, and a lot of you have probably seen that very large box in the background, and I haven't even opened it. I haven't had a peek at it. So what I want to do is share me opening it with you out there, because it's one of the most amazing components on the Ultima RS. But before I can do that, what we've got to do is ensure that rear clamshell is in its final resting position and fully clamped down. Now, off camera, my son came over yesterday and we put the clamshell back on the beast, and it's looking good. I pushed it outside. It's just so amazing. I was stopping dog walkers. Cars even stopped at my gates and was looking in, talking about the car. But anyway, enough about that. So let's sort of wind the clock back a bit. Now, the rear clamshell on the Ultima GTR and Evo use basically 3 points to connect it to the center section. There are 2 large catches, one either side, which is the same as the RS, but at the top there is a little over center catch. It's a tiny little catch. I'll put a picture up there to show you. And what that does is that ensures that clamshell doesn't lift in any way and put undue force on those 2 main latches. Now, going back to, I can't remember the exact episode, you remember I fitted on my RS the option of what they call it, I don't know, it's like a latching system on those two latches where there's little LEDs on the dashboard. So when I'm inside the car, strapped in, I know those two latches are home. Now, with the RS, it gets a little bit more complicated about the third fixing, and let me explain. So the roof scoop. Now you can clearly see I've opted for the roof scoop on my RS, but some builders don't. They don't particularly like it, which I find a bit strange, but there you go. So if you don't opt for the roof scoop, what Ultima do in the kit, provide that little over center catch that's used on the GTR and the Evo to this very day. So it ensures that rear clamshell is actually seated at 3 points. If you go for the roof scoop like me and many other builders, you can't fit that little over center catch. There's no room. I'll show you in a minute. The actual indent that's used for it is filled in with the roof scoop. So the alternative is fitting a kit pin, and it's mandatory. May I introduce the pit pin? Small, isn't it? But these little items have been used in the aerospace industry, in aeronautical industry, in military applications, and also motorsport for a long, long time. NASA even used these in the space shuttle. And why? Well, the design of these is for the ability to quickly insert and extract. And I'll put a little image up there, cross section, so you can see there's a little button on top, and when you push it, there's two little ball bearings that actually float inside so you can extract the pin. This has the shear strength of, it was just huge, it's huge. And that's what these are about. It's not stopping two things actually coming apart like this, it's to stop them shearing. And this is why these are used in motorsport for aerodynamic bodywork. Aha! Hence why Ultima use it. Now, what this does is this goes through, so if you imagine I'm in my seat, I'm the driver, remember right-hand drive, the right-hand side of the car. This pin goes through the rear bulkhead, and then it goes through the clamshell and basically stops it moving at all. And what's really nice about this is I can just look to my left and I can see if this is seated home, which gives me reassurance everything is secured. So let's just go over to the car and start fitting this a little T-piece. And once she's in place, we can get on to that wing. Here she is. Look, just look. I thought I'd just show you before I jump inside and start doing the close-up work, but boy, just look. That's amazing. And I can just imagine that rear wing. Wow. Okay, let's jump inside and I'll see you there in a sec. Right. I hope you can see where I'm working. It's a bit confined in here now. And I must say, jumping in and out of this beast with the rear clamshell on is rather entertaining. Now, up here, now remember I was saying earlier that if you go for the roof scoop, what it does is it actually deletes the recess that's used for the over center latch as used on the GTR and Evo, and on this car, if you don't fit this, here it is. And you can see it's used as an index now for the roof scoop. So what I'm going to do now, right, so let's mark where this catch needs to go. Ultima provides a measurement that 80 millimeters down from the bottom of that recess. So this is a 3mm hole. That's carpet the other side, but that's pretty thick fiberglass there. Oh. That's bits of the carpet. Okay. countersunk rivets, so I have to put a bit of countersink on these. All done. God, it gets flipping hot, I tell you. So these are countersunk rivets, and they go flush on there. This is a seriously hard washer. God knows what it's made of. But anyway, I've drilled it through now. Bit of oak there. Let's go back to the car. So what I'm going to do here is I need to line this up. So I'm going to put the pit pin through this hole. Like that. I have to put, and I'll pop that on there. Now this, I have to drill 2 holes for the rivets. And then put this masking tape on to keep that in place. Okay, leave it in. Just check that's straight. Put that in so it can't spin. Perfect. I'm in there. God, that's lovely and tight in there. Do you know what? It's the smallest things that give me satisfaction, and that I'm really pleased about. Right, let's see if it fits. Right, moment of truth. Does it line up? Okay, so here we go. 1 latch. Those are really positive. 2 latch. Now, where's my T-piece? Will it work? Will it go in? Right, push the little blue button. Look at that! Absolutely. That ain't going anywhere. Cool. Look at that, how positive that is. And I can't pull it out. It's just, if I try and pull it out without pushing that pin in, I'm happy with that. Big time. Big time. So the time has come for Wingmania. Yeah, right. Let's get the box. Let's get the box. Right, close the doors. I love this car. I love building this car. Just look at the size of this box. It's like Christmas. Look, just look at it, look. Oh, almost dropped it there. Look at the size of this. Look at it. Wow, right. I'm going to angle you down and we're going to open it on the floor. Now, for those of you out there who wondered where Pete the penknife was, I lost it. Actually, I found it eventually. I dropped it in my dad's inspection pit, which is under there. But anyway, here it is. Now I'm going to open this very carefully because, of course, sharp and carbon fibre doesn't go together. But look at this! Just look at it! Oh! Now, that is a piece of art. Wow, look at that. Now clearly Ultima put these aluminium end plates on just to keep this straight for transport, but wow, look at that. I'll give you a flyover in a minute. Look at that. Wow. I know I get excited about stuff like this. I'm going to show the wife in a minute and she'll go, and? Anyway, come down here. I'll give you a closer look. Now, I appreciate I'm not in shot, but you don't want to look at me, do you? Just look at that carbon. Wow, there's two elements, top one and the bottom one. And these brackets here are where the wing is supported by the pylons, which I'll show you in a sec. So that's the main wing. Now what we're going to do is unpack the end plates. Let me just get those. Now the end plates of the wing, you have two options. You can go for the standard, which is what's fitted to the Evo and GTR, or you can splash the cash and get these. Of course they're bigger, of course they're curved, and they have a beautiful profile. So let's just open these up. It's these subtle upgrades that really make a difference to this car. Incredibly well, of course. Okay. Like a gem wrapped up. Wow, look at it. Look at that. Pre-drilled look. Wow. They're lovely. So of course we have one, two of these. Get rid of all this packing. So these are the two pylons. Wow, these are heavy duty things. Look at these. And the rear wing gets suspended by these, like it has on the Senna, the McLaren Senna. So that's one there. And then two. And look at that. It's got Ultima RS, like etched, or I don't know, it's not really an etching, it's like a shadow. Oh, it's this attention to detail I love with this car. And just look at all these, look here, I don't know if you can see it, there's loads of holes. That's where I can change my downforce. I'll be like Max Verstappen. Yeah, I need more downforce, I need more downforce. Right, next. So the first part of installing the rear wing is taking these pylons and attaching them to the rear bodywork, which is done on a plate that's inside the car. You can't see it now, but basically these are going to sit like that. See that? And then the wing hangs down. Now, before I start doing templates and things, which you have to do, before drilling the holes in this meaty bit of alloy, what I need to do is make sure the car is completely level, because what we're going to be doing is using a spirit level to make sure this rear wing is spot on. Because if you get it a bit, that's not good. One, it looks awful, but two, it's going to put different aero load on the back of the car, which is not good. Now the best way to see if the car is level is to put a spirit level across the back chassis member, and basically I'm just checking my floors level in the garage, well, in the Dean Den. So the best way to check that the Dean Den's floor is completely flat is to put the spirit level on the back chassis member, and I can say that is a centre bubble. So we're all square, we're all ready. So now what I've got to do is start making templates to put on the inside of the car, and then I'm going to offer up those pylons so I know exactly where to drill the holes. So you're going to get some, I know you've had a lot of talking up to now and it's been quiet, but I need to put the Grand Prix on. So you're going to get some background music for a lot of this. So strap in and just enjoy.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
Okay, I'm going to spare you me cutting all the templates out underneath here. It's a bit difficult to film anyway. But basically, the body, the rear clamshell, has already have bolts that are bonded in to panels that are aligned, you see where my fingers are, through these gaps. So now what I'm going to do is, with these pylons, thread them down into the holes. like so. And then what I need to do is position them in the right height, make sure they're level, and then mark on the template where these sit. Now what I need to do is I need to ensure that they sit in the middle of these holes, so I may have to space them slightly, but we will see. But making sure everything is level is number one. So let me pop this in. Okay. So let's see how these line up. Whew! Absolutely spot on. Super. So all I need to do is position these against those inner sidewalls, mark them, remove them and drill through. And then I can put the wing on. Sorry, I'm out of shot again, but I wanted to give you a close-up of this area of the RS chassis and RS rear clamshell and explain how ingenious this rear wing is. Now, as I explained previously, that rear wing exerts a huge amount of downforce, and clearly it's bolted to the rear clamshell, but this is really just a location point to keep it vertical. The actual force goes through this chassis plate here. Now I'll put a bit of cardboard behind there so you can see it. So when this clamshell closes, this pylon sits on the chassis. Now what that means is when downforce starts to build, as velocity increases, it pushes down on the chassis, and what it does is it doesn't stress the clamshell and fiberglass. Now what I'm going to do is I'll move the camera to the rear and then I'll show you as the clam closes, and then you can see them mate. Now what the factory recommend is to put a very thin high density rubber strip on here just to stop this making a noise when you're just doing your usual driving. That's just ingenious. So the pylons are on. Let's see if they're vertical. Boom, spot on. And this one, boom, spot on. Now this is the big measurement. Woohoo! Perfect. Excellent, excellent. Now, the next job is to put on the rear wing. God, let's go get it. Let's see what it looks like. This is so light. It's unbelievable. It's just so light. Oh, look at this. Look, 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 look. And I tell you, it just lines up perfectly. Look at that. Wow, it's tight in there. Right, let's get some bolts and put it on. Look, pylons in, rear wing on, and now the end plates. Almost there. So here are the end plates. There's one, and you've got to get these the right way round because there's a slight countersink here for these countersunk bolts, and then that goes on like that. So what you have to do, take this off, take this to this, drill through, put it on. Okay, let's take this off first. Now what I've done, I've taken this aluminium here and I've just trimmed off, don't worry about all this being not particularly neat, because I'm just going to use this to drill these 4 holes. And I had to trim this to avoid this shape here. So if you look, they line up like so. Now I'm going to protect this, so I'm going to get some tape, masking tape, and put over that. Now these should line up perfectly if we did our job right. Oh, look at this. This is looking good. Woohoo! Look at that. Ha, brilliant. Now what Ultima do is they say they put the wing so this is parallel. Let's just see if I've got to just adjust it a bit. Yeah, I do. That needs to go up a bit. That looks it. That looks like it, doesn't it? Yes. That's the setting for road use.
Don't wanna waste time. I'll never be this young. I'll never be this young again. Don't wanna chase highs when I'm too worn out. When I'm too worn out. So I'm never coming down. Never coming down. Never coming down again. I was born to be this high. Born to be this high. Born to be this high, my friend. Won't you come up here to my altitude? To my altitude, yeah, you. 'Cause I always liked you. I wanna share this view. I wanna share this view with you. We're never coming down. Never coming down. Never coming down again. We were born to be this high. Born to be this high.
Woohoo! What an episode that was! Wow, look at it. She's coming together. And this carbon, oh, I tell you what, Rufus, when he saw this, just was blown away. Anyway, as you can see, she's coming together. And next episode, I'm going to push her outside and we'll just do a walk around, just to see it in like a natural habitat, so to speak. So for those of you that are still watching, thank you. And also thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't, please click that little button. Anyway, until next time, always, and I mean always, enjoy your spannering.